All right, so this is Boxing with the Truth, and I'm the Truth, and we're here today with professional boxer RJ. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Laase? Laase. Yep. I know everybody says it wrong.
Yeah. It's a common thing.
And he's actually fighting for a junior welterweight vacant Minnesota title this Saturday, August 22nd, against Rondale Hubbert. So we're going to see what he has to say about the fight, some of his background, and maybe remark a little bit on Rondale's interview that I did with him the other day. So let's just get some basic information first. Your name is RJ Laase. Nickname is T-Rex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Age?
26.
Amateur record?
What was I think 44-3, 2 draws.
Okay, pro record is
12-1, 8 KOs.
And weight division is junior welterweight, right?
Yep.
And what year did you turn pro, RJ?
2007.
And your hometown is Duluth, Minnesota, right?
Yep, that's correct.
All right, so let's we'll just get some basic information on how did you start in boxing?
My older brother boxed amateur. He's about 10 years older than me. He boxed Twin Ports. He didn't do anything crazy serious, but I mean, he went to a few regional tournaments and, you know, JOs and all that stuff, and then I think he was done the first year of the Golden Gloves. I think he fought one time Golden Gloves, and after that I think he was pretty much done. But it was like 7th grade. Seen a flyer floating around school. Horton's Gym, you know, their new opening of their gym downtown on Michigan Street. So I decided to round up a couple buddies and went down there and signed up and quit playing baseball and quit playing basketball and sitting here today.
Okay, so it all started at Horton's Gym. That's a whole different interview and a whole different story. But all right, so what do you consider your boxing style?
I guess a boxer puncher. You know, I mean, I can box. I can be pretty. I can put combinations together. I can make a fight drag on if I want, you know, and I can also sit down and go to war. So I mean, I don't think I'm a brawler. I've never pictured myself as a brawler. I think I have knockout power. I mean, it's evident, you know. I mean, I have knocked people out. So, you know, I'd say boxer puncher, more or less. Like I said, if I got to outbox a guy, I got to outbox him. If I got to sit in the pocket with a guy that's outboxing me, well, then I gotta go back to being a puncher. You know, I mean, it's just you gotta change from whatever style you have in front of you and whatever's happening in the fight. You know, you got to be able to adjust to that. So
you think, no, you just commented that you're not much of a brawler. So this Saturday night, if this fight just turns into a straight out brawl, what are you gonna do?
Well, that's the thing, you know. We about the whole Rondale thing, saying he's coming to brawl and whatnot. I think that's just his, honestly, being honest, his biggest mistake would be to try to brawl me, because we've been training for that specific Rondale to come and brawl. I mean, we watched tape on Winston. I've watched other fights of him just coming out and going haywire and trying to pressure and lean and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do, you know, to a guy that's coming and swinging wild like that and whatnot. I mean, you know, there's plenty of things that we've been working on. A lot of things that we've been working on for that specific thing that he comes out and does. I mean, I personally don't think, you know, that's the best thing to do. He's never been 8 rounds, you know. I mean, it's a different thing to sit there and say you want to brawl and make an ugly fight. 8-round fight, I don't care how many miles you ran, I don't care what you've done, who you've sparred, how many rounds you sparred. It's different, man. A fight is different than being in the gym. Going 8 rounds in the gym is different than sparring, or than going 8 rounds in a fight. I mean, to keep up that consistent pressure of 8 rounds of trying to brawl, I mean, it's a different story. So you got to think about it as, you know, do we know that he's coming to brawl? Yeah, he's going to fight his heart out. He's undefeated. You know, this is his big shot, you know, to knock the top guy off and take over the crown or whatnot. You know, I mean, we know what's going on. You know, but like I said, we've been working in camp the whole entire summer for that specific Rondale to show up. But like I said, I think that's just not the way that he's going to win this fight, is trying to come and outmuscle me and try to brawl me. I'm the bigger fighter. I mean, for one thing, you can't bully the bully that's bigger than you, you know. And I'm not even saying I'm a bully. I mean, I said that I like to bully people. I've never seen that I like to bully anybody in the ring. I just, you know, if the kill is there, you go in and kill.
Just control it. I mean, that's the point of winning. But So, what is one thing that your boxing fans don't know about you?
I'd say like just a regular ordinary fan, or somebody that's close to me, or
Yeah, just a boxing
just
fan in general. Something that they would not know about RJ over the years since you've been in boxing. Something completely off the wall, or just maybe you like collecting stamps. I don't know.
If it's got an engine, I love it. You know, if it's I love cars. You know, dirt bikes, 4-wheelers, all that stuff. I mean, if it's got an engine and you can blow it up or you can ride the wheels off of it, I love it.
Okay.
So
yeah, I didn't know that about you. So, what's your favorite activity outside of boxing?
Oh man, I got so many.
Well, you can list more than one.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. You know, I don't know. I honestly, like I said, man, I like cars. I like wrenching. I like building things. I like home improvement. You know, obviously I like the cliche. I like video games. I like movies. I like I like bowling. You know, I like beer. You know.
All right. So, what's your favorite boxing movie?
Favorite movie? I got a couple of them. As cheesy as it may sound, I like Diggstown. I've always liked Diggstown. I don't know why. I've just always liked the concept of it. I mean, it's a really, really cheesy movie. And
I'll be honest, no boxer's ever given me that answer. So.
I don't know why. I just it's if you're a boxer and you haven't seen Diggstown and you don't like Diggstown, I mean, I can understand why you don't. But I like Rocky and all that stuff too. But
I get a lot of those.
I'd say my favorite boxing movie is probably Raging Bull with De Niro. So
you like Diggstown and Raging Bull?
Yeah, between those two, those are the two that I really like.
All right. So what's your who's your favorite boxer?
I don't necessarily have one. Growing up as a kid, I've always liked Pernell Whitaker. Sweet Pea was always the guy. Granted, he was a southpaw. I'm not a southpaw, but I always wanted to be the right-handed orthodox Pernell Whitaker, but obviously a white boy. But and James Toney too was another guy that I really liked growing up and watching with James Toney. Obviously, guys are like Floyd or Gaddy or Ward and all that, like those type of names. But I like James Toney and I liked Pernell Whitaker for some reason. Those were the guys that I really liked. I
gotta say, Ward and Gaddy are two of my favorites too. So the Ward, that trilogy.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Those are great fighters. I have nothing bad to say about those guys.
I can watch that trilogy all day long. So, do you have any superstitions, rituals, or habits before a fight?
Well, after weigh-ins, I usually eat a king-size Snickers bar with Gatorade. It's always been something I've done every fight. And then the day of the fight, actually, I wake up and I watch the original Halloween movie with Michael Myers. That's the one movie dude used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. So, used to not want to go in the basement when I was like 4 or 5 years old because I was forced to watch a scary movie like that, and I would always think that dude's down in the basement. But yeah, no, I always watched that because it was like, growing up as a kid, that was like a fear, like, as a kid seeing that thing, and whatnot, and you just always watch it. It kind of gets you in that zone.
All right. Yeah, that's a good answer, man. You're giving me answers other boxers have never given me answers like this, so it's cool. How has boxing affected your life? Good or bad?
Well, I guess I really don't have any bad effects from boxing. I haven't been hit too many times or anything like that, but I think it's benefited from it. I think it's kind of helped me get through some tough times, I think it's basically helped me steer in the clear path of being in trouble and whatnot. Obviously, boxing is another alternative for, troubled youth and all that stuff and growing up as a kid. But, not saying I was some perfect angel. I don't think anybody's a perfect angel. So, just as that, I think it's basically what I was supposed to do. At this point in time in my life, I think boxing is what I was supposed to do. So.
All right, so who's the one person that inspires you inside and outside the ring in your life?
The one person. I don't know. I mean, I got a few. You know, obviously parents. You know, you're gonna have your parents, your mom or your dad. And actually, I'd probably have to say it is my old man. You know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be fighting. Because you know, my parents divorced and all that stuff when I was really young. And when I wanted to box, my mom wouldn't sign the papers unless my old man did. And you know, my dad wasn't gonna hold his kid back from doing something that he really wanted to do. You know, I mean, amateur boxing is relatively the safest sport for a kid to do compared to football or anything like that, like injury-wise. So yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be boxing. You know, he's the one that signed the papers. You know, the release forms and all that stuff and the consent forms. So I'd have to say, you know, my old man.
Okay. So are you still going to promote boxing events, or are you strictly a professional boxer now?
See, everybody's always asking me that question. You know, when's your next show? When are you gonna have another Westman show? And I actually had a date. It was last May. I was gonna do, what was it, May 10th or something like that I had. And after I fought Waka, I had the April show. And it was actually going to be in the spring. I was going to do September. That's what it was. I was going to do, it was like September 20th or something like that after my Waka fight. And I just, you know, I put in all that work and organizing the fight. And actually my most successful show was the one that I didn't fight on. It was the one right after the Waka fight in April. And, you know, I just remember going through all that stress and having all that overhead and like pulling out insurance and bonds and making sure this fighter's on weight and this fighter's coming in and getting these contracts signed. It was just like, man, all this to make a measly three grand, you know, like profit $3,000 to go through all this measly work. Like, granted, I love it, but as for now, I think boxing is what I'm supposed to do, and you know, promoting boxing is something that I could, you know, see myself continuing to do when I decide to hang them up, or as I'm a little bit more advanced in my own career.
Well, for now, you think you're just gonna, with the belt, with you facing the title belt and stuff like that, you're just gonna put more focus on your career?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, there's other things, there's other news that I haven't released or anything like that, or put out to anybody or anything like that I've been waiting to announce after the fight and stuff like that. I mean, it's not bad, it's not it's not like, oh, it's, you know, no babies or nothing like that. No. But there's other news that's going on, so I just not gonna actually release any of that information until after the fight. So and regardless of the outcome of the fight, it doesn't change this announcement or anything like that. This is like it's like a grown man big step in life and stuff like that. So it's a big thing.
All right. So it's not necessarily boxing news?
No, it's not necessarily boxing news.
Okay.
No, it's just alternative life news outside of the ring. So.
All right.
But no, promotion, like I said, it's not done. I still have the company. I still have, you know, TX Promotions. I still have all of it. All it is signing a piece of paper and then calling up my bondsman and then having them write up the bond again and paying for it. You know, I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Just on the back burner for now, huh? Just to take the
I mean, it's always you know, putting all that stress on me. It was a lot, and then obviously I had a lot of people opposing me. You know, I had more. I think I had more enemies trying to promote a boxing show than I actually did when I stepped into the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there was more pressure on me putting on a show than there was me actually stepping in the ring that night. You know, on both the shows I'd actually fought on, and like like I said, the third show that I put on, it was actually the most successful. I mean, I walked away with, you know, money and you know, there's still probably a good 1,000 people there. I mean, granted, it feels empty in that arena when there's not more than 1,500 people. I mean, you know, granted, there isn't going to be a fight like there was the first time. You know, April, you know, April back in the day was just the big thing. You know, April 12th, 2012. We set the attendance record for the Westman for boxing. You know, we had over 1,300 people there that paid tickets. That doesn't include the 270 something comp tickets that we gave away on the radio or that we gave away and all that other stuff. But that's sold tickets, and I looked at it like, you know, the electricity when I entered the ring that night. It was just like all the odds that I had stacked against me that night were just like it was worth it all. You know, I mean, that electric feeling. And then when I knocked Drama out, you know, I knocked Donnie out. It was just like, wow, you know. And then after my fight, it was, you know, I felt like half the crowd was gone. You know, like the electricity, the atmosphere was just different. I mean, there were so many people there that were just like, you want to know what? This kid's gone through all this for the last 2 months of people opposing him, his old team opposing him to want to do this, and you know, he did it. You know, like he didn't just come out and do it. He came out and did it and made a statement by packing this place, getting maybe the non-casual boxing fan to show up because of ticket prices, and then a first-round knockout over a guy with a winning record. You know, I mean. Granted, Donnie, no, nothing against Donnie, but Donnie's not a caliber fighter that, you know, but he was a perfect fight for the amount of pressure I was under at that point in time in my career. So, but yeah, promotions are not dead. You know, it still always pops in my head to just make the phone calls and call my sponsors back up and be like, hey, you guys ready to go at it again? You know?
So. All right. So how has this training camp been different than any other training camp?
I started earlier. I started cutting weight way earlier because I knew it was summer. You know, there's going to be barbecues. You're going to want to eat, you know, a burger. You're going to want to eat a brat. You're going to want to eat, you know, you're going to want to eat. Now, did I eat as much as I would if I didn't have a fight? No, hell no, I didn't, you know. But I started cutting weight earlier. I was on weight a long time ago. Like the biggest difference this training camp is sparred more rounds than I ever have. Like I said, I've been rotating sparring partners every 2 rounds. Somebody fresh comes in while I stick in there for 8. You know, the cliche, I've worked harder than every other camp. Pushed my body to the limit. You know, I don't know. I ran more miles than I ever have. I feel good. You know, I had a few bumps in the road with the thumb and stuff like that. Granted, you know, I jammed it here and there a little bit, but I mean, you're gonna get that. You know, you're throwing punches and you're going 31 minutes. You know, of punching. You're gonna get into some kind of, you know, situation. So.
Well, that kind of leads into my next question. So, I know you injured your hand a while ago in sparring, and that's why the Jamal James fight was canceled, correct?
Yes.
So, have you had any setbacks on your hand this training camp, and how does it feel now?
I won't say that during the training camp there's been a big setback. I've tweaked it a few times here and there. I mean, not to the point where it was like, you know, but, you know, just a little bump here and there and whatnot where you could actually feel it. But I'd say it was a major setback at the point in time that it happened. I was in a brace for 5.5 weeks, and then I did 4 weeks of physical therapy. So, you know, putty, bands, exercises, you know, I went through the whole x-rays and all that stuff, and then just basically being told that it's going to happen again, you know.
But I mean, during the training camp, you felt the pain on it, though?
I wouldn't say I felt that. I mean, I've tweaked it a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like hurt or anything.
It doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me to the point where I hesitate to throw a punch or hold back or anything like that, no.
So you don't think it's going to end up being an excuse in the fight if it has to get stopped?
A fight's a fight. I mean, your adrenaline's going so much. I mean, I fought a Hector rematch. I broke my right pinky knuckle in the Hector rematch, and you know that happened early in the fight, and I didn't even notice it until after. I mean, your adrenaline's going. Granted, like you're gonna feel a broken hand, like multiple bones or something like that. You're gonna feel it, but your adrenaline's going, man. You ain't gonna quit.
And that leads into the next question as well. I was gonna ask if you do re-injure your hand in this title fight, will you have the fight stopped, or because it is for a title, will you fight till the end no matter what?
Yeah, you fight till the end. You fight until you ain't got nothing left. You know. Granted, now if I hurt my hand and I'm not performing to my ability or something, and I'm getting teed off on or something like that, I'd leave that up to my corner to call the fight if they want to call the fight. But nah, there's no punk in me. I'm not.
But you won't stop it.
No.
You'll make your corner stop it.
No, and the last thing I'll do is show that I'm hurt. You know, it's the one thing you don't want to do. You get clipped with a good body shot, you gotta hide it. Your hand, you break your hand or something, you gotta hide it. You know, you're hurt, you gotta hide it.
All right, so what does fighting on August 22nd against Rondale Hubbert for the vacant Minnesota State Junior Welterweight title mean to you?
Well, it's finally here, you know, it's finally real. It's finally a really legit state title fight, you know. Me beating up Alan Litzow last August to get the belt I don't find that as a very what's the word I'm looking for? Like legit, I guess you can say. I mean, Alan's older. He was a great fighter at his point in time in his career and whatnot, and a great amateur fighter and stuff. So, it's taken a year for the 140-pound division to fill out, and I think this is actually the best fight that could be made. It's an undefeated kid that's coming up, and Rondale should be 8-0. If you think about it, I mean, the draw against Titsworth. Some people say he won. Some people say it was a fair draw, and then his no contest against Gronvold for whatever reasons. I mean, he's a fighter with 8 fights, and he's put these 8 fights together in a very short amount of time since 2012. So in the last 2 years, he's had 8 fights. That's fighting pretty much every 3 months, So he's very active. And he's, like I said, I'm number 1, he's number 2. There's no denying it, so why not make it happen, Who's to say that if we didn't fight this and that we don't fight for the belt now, who's to say that Morris can't go fight the number 5 guy and take a belt that really me and Rondale should be fighting for.
So what does it mean to you overall, though, to fight for this title?
It's the biggest accomplishment that I have at hand right now. Like, by winning it, it's like I said, it's the biggest thing that I've had to fight for yet. So I mean, it's my biggest fight. And it's finally the opportunity to join all the other state champions. Finally, I finally get to win something. I finally get to fight for something that is actually physically there, not money, not just pride or anything like that, but an actual physical. The last time I fought for anything physical that you can actually take home with you was in my amateur days, fighting for a little trophy. Okay. So I mean, it's that's what it is.
So why did you agree to take this fight now in your career against an opponent with only supposedly 8 professional fights, but his record states only 7, instead of trying to pursue the fight that was canceled between you and Jamal James for his Minnesota State welterweight title belt?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of people wonder that. And the biggest thing is, when we made the Jamal fight, it wasn't necessarily anything against Jamal. It wasn't anything like that, but it was at that point in time in my career, or where we were at and the way things were laid out, that it was the only fight that made sense. I wanted to fight for a belt. I've been wanting to fight for a belt, but a legit belt, and that was the one fight that we could fight for at that point in time. Rondale, they weren't going to take that fight. Rondale's camp wasn't going to take the fight right after he just got done beating Winston. They were living off the Winston thing, so that fight wasn't possible. So the biggest thing was, RJ, you want to fight for a belt? Fight for the 147 belt. Win, lose, draw. Say I go in and I lose an 8-round wide decision to Jamal James and get outboxed, get my ears boxed off. What's the shame in that? There is none. We were in a win-win fight. I was already in great shape. I got hurt the first week back at training camp in my 10th round of sparring for the day. There was nothing of pulling out because we didn't want to fight him. We said we wanted to fight for a belt. It was our biggest payday yet. And when the fight got canceled, we were given the option to basically fight again in August. And we said, Jamal, go ahead, fight whoever you want to fight, and in between whatnot. And if you guys still want to fight, and it makes sense and whatnot, well, then all this talk of the 140-pound getting called out by Morris and saying he's the best, and then this is the best. Then it came about like, okay, now I'm going to stake my claim, and I'm going to go and show everybody that I'm truly the best at 140 pounds. And once I win a 140-pound belt, then we can go back to the discussion of the 147-pound belt, because then it's 2 champions fighting each other for, a belt. Then it's 2 champions coming together to fight for the belt.
So I guess I didn't even have that question on here, but that's a good thing to ask you. Then, if you do win this belt against Rondale, then will you move up and challenge Jamal for his belt to try to win 2 belts?
That could vary. That's been on a plan. I won't say that's been our plan. That's been discussed. That's been discussed, and maybe even talks of going down to 135 has been discussed if my body can let me get there. After this training camp, it's It's to the point where it'd only be another 5 pounds. So, you know.
Does that mean we're talking a possible RJ against Tony Lee fight for a belt?
You know, you never know. I mean, that's what I'd have to make 135 in order to get ranked there first. You know, I'd need to break the ice at 135. But I'm just saying, between those and, you know, there's just so many options after this fight. Like I said, I don't worry about the Jamal fight falling through. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know, people can say what they want. People can say that I hurt my hand on purpose or I faked the injury. I mean, they're not me. They don't know what I went through. Like I said, I lost out on the biggest payday. It was twice the amount that I'm making for this fight. And I don't think this fight is any less dangerous than that fight. You know, like I said, Rondale's an undefeated, talented fighter who's hungry and eager, and this is his one shot to prove everybody wrong. So I'm not underestimating him one bit. I haven't underestimated Rondale one bit. That's why I'm out here pushing these miles. That's why I'm out here putting my body to the limit to go in there and be ready for whatever. So if the Jamal fight happens after, you know, like I said, there's no sense of talking into the future or anything after this fight until we know the outcome of this fight. And my plan is to go into this fight and get my belt. So, yeah.
All right, and then we can discuss that. All right, so Rondale Hubbert has never been knocked down in a fight in the amateurs or the professionals. Do you think you have the power to knock him down and possibly out?
I think I have the power to knock anybody out. I think I have the power to knock anybody down or out. I mean, any punch can land in the right spot. I mean, you know, you can hit somebody with a pillow and knock them out. I mean, it don't matter. If you hit somebody in the right spot, they can go down. You know, I mean, do I think I have the power? Yeah, I think I have the power to knock anybody out. I mean, if you don't believe in your power, then the hell you boxing for, you know?
That's a good answer. So how do you feel about your opponent, Rondale Hubbert, as a person and a boxer?
I think he holds himself very well. I do. I think Rondale is a cool kid. You know, we've met. You know, we bullshitted. We've sparred. I've seen him fight. I had him debut on my show. He replaced Winston as a replacement fight, and he broke the ice on one of my shows. And you know, Rondale, he carries himself well. He takes care of his family. He seems like he's a very family-oriented man. You know, and I don't really have anything bad to say about him. You know, I mean, this isn't personal. This is a sporting match. This isn't like, oh, this is some personal grudge match. This is number one and number two going against you. This is what sporting is about. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, this is what sporting is about. There's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. You know, this is how it goes. I mean, it's a fight that was bound to happen anyway. So why don't we just make it happen now?
All right. So what do you think you will have to do against Rondale Hubbert to beat him convincingly that there will be no question in the judge's mind that you won?
Control the pace, dictate the fight, set traps. He says he's coming to brawl. He's coming to make it an ugly fight. I've already been in how many of those? You know, I've already been in a few ugly fights. I came out on top. You know, so like I said, I just got to outwork him, outland him, smart defense, and you know, can't do certain things that other fighters do against him that made him victorious. I mean, there's certain things that you got to change up. There's certain things that we've been working on. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff we've been working on. I'm not gonna tell you what we've been working on. I'm not gonna tell you what our game plan is or anything like that. We just know we have one.
All right. So if you win the Minnesota State Junior Welterweight title, will you offer Marcus Morris a shot at the title first?
No. I win the title. Rondale wants a rematch. Rondale will get the rematch. Not Morris. No. I just honestly felt kind of disrespected in that whole manner because, like, you know, I thought everything between me and Hooch, like I said, boxing's a dirty business. Boxing, there's no friends. You have no friends in boxing. But I was always under the impression that Morris was cool. You know, like, this was a kid that wanted to turn pro, and I said, I'll turn you pro, but you need to find your own manager and you need to find your own trainer. You know, because you can't have mine, and you're not hopping in my car and coming down to the cities to train with Jason. Let alone I can't tell you that Jason's going to even want to train you in the first place. And then take up time out of my day when I'm down at the gym to work with my trainer, you know. So I said, you want to sign pro? I'll get you all the papers. I'll show you everything you got to do. We'll get you licensed. We'll get you ready, and I'll give you a fight that you can win. Well, now I'm going to always match you as a favorite, you know. I mean, you're the hometown kid. No different than any of the other matchmaking that they've done for me so far. I plan to do the same thing, but I said, you know what? You're going to get the same treatment that every other fighter gets, you know, on the A side. You're going to fight for tickets. And he was cool about it, but he couldn't find anybody to train him. Joe wouldn't train him. Resbugger wouldn't train him because they didn't want him to sign pro. He said he wasn't ready for the pros yet. And I said, I think he is. Why not? If he wants to do it, let him do it. He knows that he's not going to be able to get, 20 fights a year like you would as an amateur. And, I thought we were all cool under that, and it just never came about. And then he gets a few of these gimme wins under his belt, and it was just like, you let the pressure of people talking about me when you're trying to talk about your career, or when you're gonna fight RJ, or RJ's this or RJ's that, and you let that stuff get to your head to the point where you were like envying me and you were jealous of me or something. Like, dude, I put in the work. I've been a pro since 07, man. I've had the worst career out of any pro in Minnesota, as in getting fights, as in what I've had to go to get to 12-1. Like I said, we had our split when I was 6-1. I've racked up 6 wins in the last 3 years. That's not very many fights, man. That's 2 fights a year, and they haven't been easy to come by. You know, a couple of them were tune-up fights. A couple of them were this and that, but a lot of them I had to go and earn. You know, a lot of them I had to go and put the show together. Nobody was gonna give me a fight. Nobody's gonna put me on their show. I had to make my own show, and for him to come at me like that, I was just like, dude, why? You're not ready for me yet, man. Because of one little sparring day, you hit me in my mouth, and I got bloody, and I bloodied you up too. That makes you think you're ready for me. You know how many times I've spit blood out in the sparring? Hey, it's the gym, man. Like, it ain't a fight. It ain't under the lights. And then, why would I win this belt and then offer him, instead of giving the rightful guy who I'm fighting right now an opportunity for a rematch in a good fight? You know. Just because Rondale loses, that doesn't mean Rondale drops down the ladder and Hooch automatically goes up in ranking ahead of him. Maybe then I think those two should have to fight each other for the right to fight me in a rematch or something like that. So I wouldn't give Hooch the fight.
All right.
He's got to earn that a little bit more.
I just figured I'd throw it out there to see what you had to say about it.
And I ain't got nothing bad to say about, but no, I would not give him the fight.
All right, so I guess that kind of ties into I guess you kind of covered the next question a little bit. How did you really feel about Marcus Morris calling you out to fight him, and why was the fight never made?
Well, he had the opportunity to fight, and like I said, I'm 12-1. I'm the number 1 ranked guy. You don't get to call me out and then pick the shots when we fight, where we fight. Like, what? You didn't put in no work. Like, you beat opposition of 2-9, bro. 2-9. And then you go and fight the guy that I just fought in a comeback fight that I didn't fight for almost, what? How long was that? 10 months? I came off a 10-month layoff, and I fought a guy that was 14 and 16, who we gave 8, almost 9 weeks to prepare for me. You guys called him in on 3 weeks' notice, and then you want to say you beat a better version of him because he was heavier? I have messages right in my phone from the guy saying that he's not in as good a shape for your fight as he was for mine. So you come at me like that, then you want to say they're trying to skip steps to bring it up, to make it seem like he's ready to fight me or he's on my level. That's what it was. It was just like, Jeremy Martz, that's not a credible win. Did you see me bragging about my win or anything, beating up Jeremy Martz? He's a 38-year-old man that had a lot, an under 500 record that I knocked down 5 times with body shots. I took nothing more than shaking ring rust and putting another W on my record. That's all that was. That wasn't bragging rights. That wasn't anything. What the hell am I going to brag about? There's nothing to brag about that fight.
Basically, like you answered in the last question when I asked you how you really felt about him calling you out. Bottom line, you felt disrespected.
Yeah, I felt disrespected. Like, pay your dues. Like, come on, pay your dues. That's in the way that they went about trying to get the fight. You know who to contact to send out a fight offer, and like we sent it out right away the next morning. Like, you want to fight me? We're coming back August 22nd. You said you'll fight me in the hillside. You'll fight me in the cities. You'll fight me in Hinckley, and then we send you an offer more than you've been paid. They said the offer was bogus. Let's just put it this way. No, it wasn't. No, the fuck it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a good payday. I never even got offered any money like that until my fight with Justin Jones. My fight with Justin Jones was the fight that I got offered, pretty much the same fight purse that he got offered to fight me. And that was in my 10th fight, not my 5th. So you call somebody out who's ranked higher than you, who's more established than you, and then you back down because you wanted to fight in Duluth because it has to be a fight for Duluth fans. Hinckley's 75 miles away. I drive by it every day, twice a week, and then drive by it again on my way home from the cities to train. So I can make it past Hinckley and then come back past Hinckley to train twice a week, but your fans can't travel down to Hinckley halfway and then back in one night to watch you fight. Mine do it. Why does this need to be a Duluth fight? So your promoters can promote it and then all the money and all the controls into their hands? Like, what? No. You said you'd fight me anywhere, anytime, any place, Duluth, Hinckley, it don't matter, whatever. And then we offer you, and we even say you could take a fight, as many fights as you want in between. Keep putting your record. Go ahead. That's going to be more wins on my record. But instead you took a fight that I just beat up, and really, I thought I hurt Jeremy Martz a little bit more, to the point where, I hurt, like, he didn't want to fight anymore. I think Mark Nelson kind of gave you guys, like, the wand of the gift because he already seen something go down like that.
Yeah, I personally thought Martz could have got up and continued that fight. Yeah,
so do I. And, I think when I kept hitting Martz in the body, he knew it was just like, shit, this kid's going to just be here all night. So I've been down 5 times, let's just stay down. And I looked at it like this, like, you could have taken the fight with me and you could have fought fluffs, debuts or whatnot, fluffs, to stay active and busy, and then fought me August 22nd, and it didn't even have to be for the belt or anything like that. You wanted to fight me, fight me. Here's your offer. And you could have taken that fight and win, lose, or draw, say you would have lost. So what? You lost to a guy who was 12-1 who had more experience than you. But no. You guys want to take your own road and then try to make me look like the bad guy, and you guys look like fucking dummies with your fucking thumbs up your butt. And then you lost to a guy that's 3-1 with all 3 of his wins coming against debuts, and you looked horrible in it. Now, I lost a fight too. Now let's see if you take the fight that you lost and you rematch him and beat him like I did. Because that, in my eyes, is showing that you're a true sportsman. You have a competitive nature to you that, yeah, he may have edged you out. He beat you in a decision. And I give Hooch a tremendous amount of credit. He finished the fight on his feet. He fought. He was punching. He did whatever. He did whatever he could to try to win. Okay, so in my eyes, I think Hooch deserves a lot more respect out of showing that than beating up another guy. Another tomato can or something like that. I actually give him more respect by going into a 6-round war with a guy with a winning record. Granted, his 3 wins are against debuts. So now let's see if he takes a comeback fight and then avenges his loss. Gets back and then win column and then says, hey, I want to fight this guy that beat me. I did it. I did it, and I got to tell you what, there's no better feeling. There's no better feeling because you still have that blemish on your record, but then you also have that W back. So it's kind of a wash.
So do you? This question wasn't even in there, but after all that, do you see yourself eventually in your career? Do you see you matching up with Marcus Morris in the ring?
As long as he sticks with it, as long as we keep both winning, it makes sense. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
All right. So tell me why the fans should come out and watch the 2 of you fight for this title.
We're both action-packed fighters. We're both exciting. We both have skills. We both we both want to win the belt. We both want to, I don't even think this is just about being a champion. I think this is just about breaking rights. This is, me staying at the top of my game. I've worked how hard to get to where I'm at now. I don't want to go down. I have everything to lose. He's got everything to gain. So, why would you not want to come out and see that? why would you not want to come out and see a guy, his fighting style, he's action-packed, he can box. Rondale's a very good boxer, that's what I said. I said, what Rondale shows up, the brawler that, that he thinks he's going to go 8 rounds and then bully me around for 8 rounds. I mean, that's a tough task to do. I don't care who you are, man. That's a tough task to do, to go 8 straight rounds of trying to pressure somebody and be in their grill. Now, I thought he looked better in the Jacob Fox fight. I thought Rondale looked better in the Jacob Fox fight than he did against Winston. Rondale against Winston was the brawler who he claims he's coming to show and make it an ugly fight. Rondale, take your time, box, look good, outclass your opponent, was Jacob Fox. He stopped Jacob Fox faster. Round 4. He stopped Winston in 5. So it comes to me, now do you really want to fight me like that? Or do you really want to try to outbox me? Because which one is it? Is it going to be both? So whatever it's whatever he has, we're ready for. We know what Rondale has to offer. As I'm sure they have in their camp and their plan, we know what RJ has to offer. We know what RJ has, where his weaknesses are, what we need to game plan. And obviously their game plan is, and they think, is to come and make it an ugly fight and get me uncomfortable and out of my rhythm. All right.
All right, so describe yourself in 3 words.
Loyal, handsome, loyal, handsome, and I'd say just happy. Overall happy.
All right, that's good. Okay, and do you have a motto that you live by?
I guess, I mean, I think everybody has a motto that they live by. I won't say like some cheesy, like everyone says, treat others how you want to be treated or whatnot or something like that. But yeah, man, you live one time, just live.
So you live one time, just live.
Just live.
That's a
you
good
have
one
life. Live it. Like, gives a shit what anybody else thinks about it. You have one life to live. Live the fucker. Just live. No matter if you get up and you gotta go to work, so what? So does the next man. Oh, you gotta get up and you gotta let your dog out in the morning, or you got a puppy, you gotta let him. Gives a shit. So does somebody else. Live it.
All right.
Shit. You like playing guitar? Cool, man. Play it. You like running? Go ahead and run. You like swimming? Do whatever you like to do it.
All right, well, listen, that's my last question, RJ. I just wanted to wrap it up with that, and I appreciate you taking time and giving me an interview and being honest and giving me much info as you gave me. I actually learned a few things in this interview I wasn't aware of too, so that's why I like doing some of these interviews, to get to know some of you guys a little better on
that's all you gotta do,
more
man.
personal level.
That's really what comes. Like, that's another thing I look at it, man, is you gotta be. As a fighter, I've always wanted to be. Some people look at me as like, oh, he's a pro fighter. Let's look up to him. No, man, don't look up to me. Look with me. Like, I'm not up here. I want to be right here with you. We're just because I box, and I'm a fighter and I get up under the lights and stuff like that, and I go to war with somebody in the ring, that doesn't make me any better than you. Whether you pick up garbage for a living, or you go to work and you weld on something, or you turn wrenches, it don't make me any different than you. I'm a human being too. I like the same things you like. I sleep. I'm a human being. I eat food. I like beer. I like movies. I like, what I'm saying? Like, I live a life that, and sometimes people forget that fighters are humans too. We laugh, we cry, we smile. There's certain things in life that outside of boxing. Boxing has always been in my life since I've been 12 years old. It's been 14 years that I've been boxing. But you think in those 14 years, that's all I've done. People just think like that's all I've ever done. It's not. So you got to think of it like that. We're human beings too. We have emotions.
Thanks. And the truth has spoken.